A lot of people would think all your troubles are over once you become a billionaire. I think you're a billionaire, right?
Yep.
But that's just not true, is it?
No, absolutely not. People say that all the time. I'll give you an example of that, okay? In the 1950s, J. Paul Getty Jr. was the richest man in the world, probably the first billionaire. He had a castle, in fact, in London, a beautiful castle, right? On one of the very rare interviews this man did. And what he was asked was this: J. Paul Getty Jr., would you do something different in your life if you could? He said, I'm the richest, wealthiest man in the world. I can change government. I can do any darn thing I want. I'm the most powerful man, not only the most wealthiest. He says, but I would trade the majority of all of it to have been happy. I've been married 7 times, didn't love any of them. They made a movie about one of his grandsons cutting his ears off and sending it there for a ransom. He wasn't happy. Happiness, priorities in life should be happiness, health, and wealth. Happy is you being happy no matter what it is. It's not, money's not gonna make you happy.
What is the secret to keeping yourself grounded when you have tremendous amount of wealth? I know you live next door to Joe Rogan and he comes across as an incredibly decent, grounded person. Right. So there's 2 of you. What's the secret?
Well, I wouldn't say just a secret, just be kind. Yeah. Be a kind person, just be kind. Some of us have made it and we share. The other thing is success unshared is failure. So be kind to people and share it with people with your time. Maybe a certain investments you're making to make the future better for everybody. So as you probably know, I was homeless when I started my first company, Paul Mitchell.
Have you ever seen someone when they come out of a salon? They're happy and they look great. To get that, start with a professional hairstylist. Take their advice and use Paul Mitchell products.
Paul Mitchell is all about style, your style.
Only your salon guarantees the real Paul Mitchell.
You mentioned you sort of jumped over it, that you were homeless for a while whilst establishing
your
business.
Yeah. When I started,
what was that like?
Yeah, when I started Paul Mitchell, we had a backer. I left everything I was doing. The last minute, the last day, he pulled out and said, nope, I'm not going to invest because this is 1980. Inflation was 12.5%, unemployment 10.5% in the United States. Interest rates, if you could get a loan, were 17% prime rate of interest, and we waited in line for gasoline. So it wasn't the best time to start any business. So I said, we have the idea down. I have 30-day billing on the bottles and on the filling and all that. By gosh, let's just go for it immediately, right? I'll sell enough by the end of that time so I can start paying off the bills on it. So we started. I ran out of money, so I slept in my car for several weeks. So a good Samaritan came along. Joanna Pettit was her name. She gave me a room in her house to live until I got on my feet a little bit.
But that gave you that little window into what it was like to being homeless, and, and that empathy has stayed with you for the rest of your life.
Oh, definitely. It's tough. It's tough.
Tell us about your involvement here at Community First Village.
Sure. We got involved with Mobile Loaves and Fishes Community First. Back when my son was in grade school, when he was in the 2nd or 3rd grade, he went to Trinity here. Now he's 27 years old and adult because the kids at that school would help prepare sandwiches and food to give it to the Mobile Loaves and Fishes trucks that go around and take care of everybody. Now for me, this is very important because it lets homeless people know there is a chance. I was homeless when I started John Paul Mitchell Systems 45 years ago, lived in my car, and it was tough. It was very, very tough. It took 2 years just to pay our bills on time, not pay them off, but on time. So I know what it's like. So it was very easy for me. And I believe that success unshared is failure. To see what was going on, to immediately want to build a garden, which we did, and then immediately want to build 20 or 30 houses out here. And then we saw there was another need for entrepreneurship. So I built the Entrepreneur Center here because I thought it's really important for people that have been used to sleeping under a bridge or just not really there to know that there is hope here for you, a place to live. You are important. You will be treated with respect. You'll have a place you call your own. And at the same time, you'll learn a trade or two, which is wonderful. And also we have here, as you know, auto shop, metal shop, wood shop, every kind of entrepreneur centers, all the various things people could do or learn and make some extra dollars. So I thought this is a perfect answer.
There'll be lots of young people watching this and thinking, what does it take to be an entrepreneur and make sure your business survives? And most businesses actually go bust within the first 1 or 2 years.
That they do.
So, I mean, you obviously sacrificed a lot. In 1980,
45
years
45
ago now?
years ago.
How old were you then?
I would be 34.
34, and
I'm 81 now.
81, right? No one would believe that. Not just because of how you look, but how you talk. I mean,
Thank you, sir.
You speak fast.
Thank you, sir.
You speak fast. But just perhaps you have a word of advice for them. They're just starting their business. Yeah. Things are kind of difficult right now with the cost of living, with the inflation, with taxes.
How do you do it? I will be very happy to share that with the world because I did with no money and had how did I get an address? How did I get anything done with no money, right? One thing I've been working on this for 2 years. In July, my book is coming out. It is called Success Unshared is Failure. And besides that, about 7 years ago, if you could find it, it was on Netflix for 4 years. There's a documentary. I think if you go on one of these little websites that tell you everything, YouTube, whatever, will tell you where to get it. It was called Good Fortune. It was put out 7 years ago. It's a documentary on how to build a business with no money, how I built Paul Mitchell, and along the way, giving back to somebody. So if you could find that, it's a good one. It's called Good Fortune. It was done 7 years ago. Again, in July, we are coming out worldwide with Success Unshared is Failure.
What's the key ingredient, just in case they can't wait to get into it?
Gladly, I'll give you two things, okay, in life to start a business, or not even start a business, to beat your own life, okay? Number one is be prepared for a lot of rejection. You're gonna get it. It's like when I sold encyclopedias door to door for Colliers in the 1960s. You would knock on 50 doors, if they were all closed in your face, you must be just as enthusiastic on door number 51 as you were on door number 1. Well, for me, it was door number 100 and something, right? But I believed them, I would keep on going. So if you're ready for rejection, you know it's gonna happen. It's not gonna stop you or hurt you. You know, oh, it happens to everybody, no big deal. I'm gonna go, go, go. The second thing is, don't ever go into the selling business. Go into the reorder business, where your product or your service is so darn good, people want to buy it again or recommend it to a friend. So if you go into business, apply that. If you're not going to business, work for someone else or your own personal life, same thing applies. That if somebody you're with tells you something that's not flattering to you, don't take it at heart. You're gonna get rejection. Just let it blow over you, and then present yourself to them, whether it's a husband, a wife, a girlfriend, significant other, your boss, someone that's where it makes no difference. Be able to prepare yourself so that they like you, want to be around you in the future, not just right now. That's about being in the reorder business.
And in those early days, were you making your own products? How did you?
No, what we did was this. I bought my bottles from a company called Setco. I had a silk screener screen those bottles, bought the caps from somebody else, and then we had a laboratory that under our formulation formulate the product with us. And we had 30-day billing on each one of them. They didn't know that we never got the money, okay? So it took 2 weeks from the time I told the guy to deliver the bottles to the silk screener, and then from there to the filler before we even got product. So we had 2 weeks left before the first bill was due. So I just hit the streets, knocking on doors. My partner at the time did exactly the same thing, knocking on doors, salon to salon to salon.
What's the challenge of scaling that?
Oh, big challenge. We had no money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But
what
you
we
had no staff,
we had to rely on a product like Paul Mitchell that was so good. Hairdressers would want to reorder it and put it in their customers' hands to take it home to use in between visits to keep the same hairstyle. So because of the quality of the product, it's still going on. In the cosmetic industry, every 3 or 4 years, you have to keep changing, right? 3 of our original products we still sell 45 years later, which is very unusual in the beauty industry.
And did you come up with that formula in the laboratory?
Yeah, with some friends of mine, they were formulators. Because I'd been in the industry before, we came up with it.
And you are the ubiquitous face of your product and of your business for decades now. It's almost unbelievable for me to be sitting opposite the man I see in the poster since I was a child. How important is your behavior and how you project yourself to your brand?
It's very important because people want to be associated with people they like, and especially people that give back. They love to be associated. But one should not give back just to be associated with it. They should give back because they feel it in their heart, and they'll live longer if they do that.
You come across as a much younger man. You speak very quickly. You think very quickly. What is the secret to your longevity and your good health at the moment?
Well, I'm actually many thousands of years old, okay? But we won't go there, okay? No, it's just, I think I'm a very positive person. I will, in let's say 95% of all cases, look at, so we say, the glass half full opposed to half empty. And I've always been a positive person my whole life. I think that's a lot to do with it.
I know President Trump, I mean, he doesn't look like he eats very well, but he has tremendous energy and stamina.
Oh, yeah.
They say he's the hardest working person. But many people who have associated with him say they've never worked with him.
Oh, they tell me the same thing.
He's worked longer than him. Yeah. And he says, I don't like to look back. I barely like to look at the present. I always like to look forward.
Yeah. I look at now and the future. I don't look. You cannot change yesterday's newspapers. If there was ever to get a message out to your entire audience, I would tell them this. You cannot change yesterday's newspapers. It's gone. So why do you think about the love you lost, or you regretted doing something where you shouldn't have, or you were jealous of this person? You can't change it. Release it. Just say, bye-bye, that's the old me. There's nothing you can do about it. Get it off your shoulder. All of a sudden you start loving people and forgiving people for the wrong you think they did you.
How important is it to maintain good relationships with your business partners, and how do you keep those at an optimum level?
Well, I keep it optimum because I'm very honest with them. My business associates are honest with me. Have I always got the best business associates? No. I have failed at times. I've hired the wrong people at times. I've invest in the wrong things at a time. But overall, with a positive attitude and keep on going, in the end, everything will be okay. So I'd like to share this one quote. John Lennon saying about it, several other people in the past saying about it. I'm not a singer, but I can say it. In the end, everything will be okay. And if it's not okay, it's not the end.
That's a great mindset, yeah. It will put a lot of people at ease.